Okay, so Brad and I are sitting here and we're talking, and we are obviously filming a voicemail episode today. And I told Brad, I said, Brad, there's a voicemail that I know you're going to love. Please tell me you've listened to it. Now, here's the thing. Like, I'm usually the guy who I get the voicemails come to my email, so I know right when a voicemail hits the pipeline. And I saw this one come in. I listened to it like I do every other voicemail, but something about this voicemail was special. And I cannot wait to listen to it because talking pre-recording, Brad mentioned that he hasn't listened to any of the voicemails since I've been in, so I know he hasn't listened to this one. And I cannot wait to listen to this because this guy is an effing legend. Let me tell you. Just the accent alone makes this guy a freaking legend.
Oh, you're giving stuff away now.
That's true. Well, let's just do this.
Oh, I will say this because
go ahead.
You've hyped it up because I had a really bad day the other day, and I was telling JJ I'm just having one of those days. My dog's real sick. I'm like, I'm having a crappy day, and you're like, you sent the like listen to this, but I didn't have the login on my phone. Usually I listen when I'm editing or when I bring them in, I hear them, but I didn't have my phone, and one thing led to another, and I don't even know the topic. But you've been talking about this voicemail because we were supposed to record last night and you got busy. You've been talking about this voicemail for a couple of days now.
It's so good. It is like when I'm listening to it, I get like hyped. I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. The listener, you guys are gonna know too. Like the way he I don't know, he did a banger job putting this voicemail together.
He set the voicemail bar pretty high.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I also got to mention this, guys. I was a little nervous on one of our previous episodes about running out of voicemails. You guys came in clutch. We have like months worth of voicemail content to go through. We may have to do a couple like in one episode or something one time.
Or just keep them coming in because we like to try and match them up with our Monday content if possible. So
very true.
Just because you're leaving one in doesn't mean you're going to have to wait a couple months. Like it might come up. But yeah, I think we did that once where we had a backlog and then we did an episode where we banged out a bunch that were like kind of similar. Maybe we'll do that. But I told you when you were here, he's like, I'm telling you guys, he was like, Brad, what are we going to do if I'm in Hawaii and we don't have a voicemail? I'm like, dude, first of all, I'll call my friends and have them leave voicemails. But yep, they're coming in. So thank you guys. We really do appreciate it. And we might even make some Mondays out of it because frankly, we've said it once, we'll say it again. If the podcast from here till the day one of us expires is just voicemails, we'd be totally okay with that because
so true.
We love interacting with you guys. So, all right, JJ, let's hear this epic voicemail.
I'm so ready, man. So today's voicemail comes from my good friend, Matt, a.k.a. effing legend.
Yeah, g'day lads. My name's Matt. I'm an Aussie expat living in the States. JJ, seen all your videos. Big fan, mate. Brad, you're honestly a brother from another mother. I'm Irish Catholic too and crack up every time you talk about your temperament because I'm fully on the same level. Lads, me and my wife went and got our taxes done recently, and I had to sit there listening to this muppet of an accountant shut me down for having invested in a Roth IRA. I have a 401k, Roth IRA and brokerage accounts, and he told me investing in a Roth IRA is pointless and a terrible idea as there are no tax benefits. Instead of replying politely like a JJ Bucknell with an educated response, I sat there fuming inside my head like a Brad Finn, thinking of the different ways I could jump across the desk to attack this guy. I felt like saying, listen here, mate, the lads from Average Money state that a Roth IRA is an incredible investment vehicle. He kind of made me feel like an idiot, but I didn't want to look like the south end of a northbound wombat, so I kept my mouth shut. My question is this guy an idiot? Isn't the benefit of a Roth IRA the compounding tax-free growth? Also, I have 3 brokerage accounts that are basically open just for the free stocks, and the accountant wanted to charge me an additional $100 per brokerage account. He spent honestly less than 2 minutes looking at my papers, so of course I put up a fight. Is it normal for accountants to want to charge so much per brokerage account? Cheers, guys.
So first off, we're listening to this.
What was the best one-liner in there? Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to go back because there was so much gold in there.
Dude, I'll say this, Matt. First, we are cracking up. Like, if you guys are watching the YouTube channel, You're seeing Brad and I cracking up as we're listening to this voicemail.
Because I'll mute us and edit.
Matt, I'll say this, brother. I wish me and Brad were in the room with you during this accountant telling you that a Roth IRA is not a good investment vehicle and trying to charge you, what was $100 an account for a brokerage account? Like,
let's answer the main question.
Okay,
yes, he is an idiot.
Complete idiot.
But I'm trying to figure out what his effing motive is.
No, okay.
He's not a financial advisor. So it's not like he's not trying to make any money off of him.
No, accountants can have other line of work where they manage investments, depend on your licensing. My CPA does that. He can come handle your money and invest your money in certain investments.
Like to play devil's advocate, JJ, because we have talked about the Roth till we've been blue in the face. And first off, cheers. I got some whiskey on me too, so cheers to you, bud. But can we honestly think of something that's bad? How does he say there's no tax benefits when you're growing your money? Like, what's the alternative here?
So hold up.
Where would he want the money to go otherwise?
This just popped into my head.
Riddle me that, Batman.
He said he was an Aussie, but he's living in the States.
Yeah.
But is he able to open a Roth IRA?
Yes.
If he's an Aussie?
Yeah, if he's making money here, yes.
Oh, yeah, I guess if he's paying taxes. Yeah, if he's...
Yeah, you don't need to be a citizen. You just need to have earned income through the IRS.
Okay. Well, then, yeah, I honestly...
I assume he's a citizen as well, but...
Yeah, I mean, assumptions made. Yeah, let's assume that, but...
That doesn't even matter because that would be a situation of he couldn't. So if he's gotten to the point where he has...
Great point.
The CPA didn't say, you're an idiot for opening a Roth IRA when you can't. He's saying that he was an idiot because there's no tax benefit.
I don't get it, man. Like, my only downfall,
what
and it's not
F
even...
was his motive?
Maybe to turn him on to some different account that could charge him more. I have no idea, man. I have no idea, because, like...
Like, I almost feel like I'm getting trolled here.
Maybe Matt's such of a legend that he's actually trolling us right now. I have no idea. And Matt, like, to answer your question, man, like, I'm kind of dumbfounded that the guy even told you that.
Yeah, dude. I'm like, first off, it's none of his effing business what you do. So there had to be some sort of financial advice conversation, because I will talk about my CPA, who also we don't throw legend around very often, but my CPA is awesome. He's insane. The amount of money he has saved me and the amount of headaches. That's what your CPA should be doing. He is never, and he's a by the book kind of guy, like super by the book. Like we're kind of cool, and he texts me like, "Good afternoon, Bradley." I'm like, dude, you could just say what's up, you know. But he has never questioned or judged anything that I've done financially. And unless I've asked him, and even when I've asked him, he doesn't even say the whole like multiple brokerage things. That's freaking BS as well, because take it from I'm not saying that CPAs don't do that. I'm saying that's a bullshit charge. And if he is, first of all, I think it's safe to say that we need to never go see that man ever again. And I'll set you up with my buddy Matt. He does everything through Dropbox and DocuSign, and I didn't even know what he looked like for the first 3 years that I was using him. But I'm speechless. I am, especially like let's say, for example, the Roth IRA had an unlimited max, and Matt was coming in there, and he was putting $50,000 into his Roth IRA, and he wasn't investing anywhere else. I could possibly see somebody being like, hey man, let's not put all of our eggs in one basket. Even though Elon Musk says you can put them all in one basket as long as you protect your basket, I could see somebody in that case being like, hey, let's diversify a little bit outside the Roth, but at $6,000. Oh man. And we're two people that have multiple brokerage accounts. So I'm not even saying like, I gave Matt, my account's name is Matt too, ironically. I gave Matt my dude, I have M1 Finance for me and my wife, Robinhood for my wife and I, Vanguard for my wife and I, Webull for my wife and I, Public for my wife and like. It's as simple as they're all the same thing. All he had to do was what he wanted to charge you $100 to take 2 sheets of paper and multiply the dividends that you received, or add them together.
Add them, yeah. I mean, it literally is. I mean, my CPA just does a flat rate fee. It doesn't matter how many damn brokerage accounts I have. It's just you take a number off a sheet of paper. That's all you do. It ain't hard.
Is it a pain in the ass? Yeah, but so is grading labs. I don't not give physics labs.
Right.
Like, yeah, there's some things about your job that are a little bit like annoying. Is that annoying for your CPA? Most likely. I'm sure he's not like, oh, sweet, I have to go through all of these different brokerage accounts. That's your effing job, dude. That's what you signed up for. Like my account has like a flat fee. I'm going to file your 1040. That's it. If you need a Schedule C, I'm going to add a little bit more money on there.
Yes.
If you have a K1, I'm going to add a little bit more money onto there. I fill out my own 8606 for my backdoor Roth. He doesn't charge me for filling that form because I do it for him. But like, I wish Matt would have said, like, I guess he did give an answer that it's not tax efficient, but it is tax efficient.
I don't understand where he's coming from, to be
Not
honest.
to mention all of the other things like passing things on to a beneficiary.
Let's get him on the podcast. Let's get the accountant on the podcast and let's ask.
I'll have to get New York. I'll have to get New York on him.
Irish Catholic coming out.
Are you kidding me? He'll be like, what the fuck are you trying to do with that rope? You know, like...
Yeah, I don't know,
I feel
man.
terrible, too, and because you want to know what? Like, our buddy Matt here, he's not that dude's only client.
Okay, that's exactly what I'm getting ready to get into. I think this is a good time to bring this up. Is first, I want to say this. I don't use my accountant for my financial advisor, even though he could be a financial advisor of mine because he could invest. He's allowed to take money and invest it for other people because of his license he has set up. But here's my thing. I call my CPA, and Brad, I'm sure you do the same thing, with like, if I have a question about my SEP IRA for like tax reasons, I call my CPA. He don't charge me for that. That's what I pay him for at the end of the year. So like, those are things to think about too. Like, just because you don't have to use a financial advisor. And I want to say this.
Oh my God. I'm angry. I'm so angry.
Majority of the people out there, really, guys, like if you guys are listening, you really don't need a financial advisor.
No.
Like, if you just listen to like
some people
the
do.
average money,
some people do.
Okay, yes, some people do.
If you're over 70, and you don't have any kids or a spouse,
yeah. There's so many just like simple ways. Open up your retirement accounts, IRA, Roth IRA, throw it into VTSAX. Big bam boom, you're done. I mean, there's a little bit more to it than that, but you know, if you take the little bit of time to just kind of learn what to look for, there's really, once you figure out the basic steps, there's not much you really need to do. Now, if you're getting into like stocks and all this stuff, like that's totally different. There's things to like look for with that, but if you're not interested in it, don't do it. Just do regular index funds. I really don't think, man, that like a lot of people even need a financial advisor. Now, do I recommend somebody using a CPA? I mean, yeah.
Yes. If you have more than one stream of income, you should.
Yes.
That includes dividends and interest.
Yeah, I like having a CPA, one, to like kind of check my stuff, because I'm pretty organized when I put my stuff together, and I make sure I have all my I's dotted and T's crossed, and that I also know, like, this is kind of maybe just me going over the top, but I like to know like what credits I'm getting. Mm-hmm. And like, for example, the stimulus, like based on my 2019 income, I got stimulus checks, and that I didn't receive one for my daughter. So I sent like reminders to my CPA, like, hey, make sure I get my credit for my daughter since she was born in 2020, because I didn't get the credit for that. And little things like,
you should definitely advocate for yourself and have a simple understanding of the tax. Like lot of, but like my CPA, I ask him so many questions, and I'll say, Matt, I'm so sorry for asking you all these questions. He's like, dude, I wish more people, because they also make mistakes. My account has made mistakes. I'm sure yours has as well. To no fault and maliciousness of their own.
We're all human.
But you have to be an advocate for your, but like I'm not gonna lie, this voicemail like ruined my glass of whiskey. I'm pissed.
Well, yeah, we'll get another one.
Oh, that's not gonna be a problem, mate. But
Mate.
But oh man, it's like, what do you say? Brad and JJ state. I love like alternative slang. Anyway, now that Matt, we can ramble about what an idiot this guy is, and I'm not even calling him an idiot. I'm just going to, because I'm going to go with the side of positivity and kindness, and I'm just going to say that he probably had motive to push you in another direction, and you investing in an index fund or something in a Roth IRA doesn't make him any money. But I mean, there's only so much tax deferred accounts you can have. And if you're investing in your 401k and things like that you already said, there is I cannot see a reason under the sun. Call me, somebody get in the Discord and tell me what are JJ and I missing here? I can take the criticism because I don't want to be the guy giving false information.
Yeah.
If you're telling me that, like I said, the only thing I could think of is if it had a huge limit and you were dumping everything in there and there was nothing going into 401ks. But especially like even the 401k is 19.5 right now. Even if you weren't hitting that on all cylinders, maybe you were putting 10 grand in there. If you told me you put in 10 grand into your 401k and max out your Roth IRA, I'm going to give you a kiss on the cheek and buy you a whiskey. Let's go. You did everything right. There, in no case would I be like, you should have defaulted that 6 grand into your 401k. And in no case, I would, you save money, dude. Like,
yeah, I don't really get it. I really don't. But I want to say this real quick.
Ridiculous. It's erroneous.
It is. But I got to say this. Not all financial advisors are bad.
No.
I feel like sometimes when you and I both say like, you know, like I mentioned it this episode, like you don't need a financial advisor. Like there are good financial advisors out there. Like one thing to look for is like fee only advisors. You know, just like what is it called? I don't remember. It's like flat fee only, something like that, where they don't charge you a percentage. It's just like there's a monthly fee to do everything, and then that's all you pay. And there's also like they have the fiduciary responsibility and all that. Yeah. Like there is good financial advisors out there. If you aren't comfortable, like dude, like I know Brad and I, like you and I both, like we fix our own stuff. We work on our own cars and side by sides and do our own stuff on the house. Like there's people out there that aren't comfortable doing that have to like. So there are people who aren't comfortable handling their own finances. Like, but I say take the next step, do your research. Just like if I was going to, build onto my house. If I was going to use a contractor or if I was going to build a brand new house and use a contractor, I'm getting multiple bids. I'm not taking one bid. So when you go talk to a financial advisor, talk to 3, 4, or 5 different advisors, interview them, ask them questions, see how they charge, what are all their fees, and then you'll get an idea from talking to them which one fits you and your family best. Just don't get like snakes, what do they call it? Snake oil salesman, don't let that guy kind of like win you over. Like you can usually tell when someone's like true and honest, and look for that like fee only advisor.
Fiduciary is a big one though. And the crazy thing is this is not a financial advisor podcast episode.
Yeah.
Do you think this dude's a fiduciary? Can you say that I guess that's an opinion you could kind of, because
I don't know. I don't think that's an opinion. Like that's almost like, how can you not, the fact is you get tax savings from capital gains and dividend growth in your Roth.
JJ, it's such a sham that you and I are afraid that one day the government's going to catch on and get rid of it. That's how good it is.
We've said it in other episodes.
That's how good it is.
We're like, it's almost like it's too good to be true. They're going to turn this around in the future and say, nope, can't do that anymore. Now you got to pay taxes. Everything's in your Roth. Yeah, I've said it before.
That's how good it is.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
So you don't think this was an opinion statement?
Dude, like the facts are there. You save money when you save money in taxes when you invest in a Roth over time because the money grows tax free. I don't understand how it couldn't. That's a fact. It's not an opinion.
Oh man,
am I wrong?
You don't think this dude's a fiduciary?
I mean, if he's saying that, no. Like I can't say yes or no. Like
right.
I don't know the guy. I wasn't in the room.
For those, we're throwing this word around too, guys. If you've never heard the word fiduciary, something that you should look up. It essentially, the long and short, means that the person that you're talking to must act and give advice in your best interest. That's like, and you hear about this with insurance and like salesmen and things like that, and a lot in the financial space and a lot in insurance. Insurance and financial space is a big one where they can't sell you something if there's something better for you or something fits your needs better. Every decision they must make. And there's been more laws with fiduciaries that have been coming up over the last, 5 to 10 years. And it's getting to the point now where you essentially have to almost ask somebody at this point, hey, I'm just curious. Are you're a fiduciary, right? And it sounds like a really weird word to say. And but that's like asking like me, like, hey, you went to school for physics, right? Like there's nothing wrong with asking that, you're allowed to say that. So please. And also I'll wrap this up and JJ, you can sign us off. I'm going to say this wholeheartedly. I'm going to get this. This is such a mind-blowing episode. We're recording right now on a Wednesday. I have Fridays done already, but this is coming out right away. I'm going to get this out like in a week. And Matt, when you hear this episode, we have until May 17th, and that's why I want to rush this out. I'm probably even going to reply to your speak pipe and tell you like pump the brakes real quick. And if need be, if you already haven't seeked out a second opinion, I'm going to get you on the phone with my CPA, and I'm going to tell him that he's going to do me a favor and he's going to talk to you and at least confirm what JJ and I are telling you as far as you shouldn't have been charged a fee for multiple brokerages. I'm going to let him hear this podcast, and my CPA is probably, because people like him make my CPA look bad. And if worse comes to worse, even if it's just for this tax season, we'll file you an extension and we'll get you in and we'll get you done right this year. And then you can either make the decision to go off on your own or stick with somebody else. But dude, yeah, man, it's disheartening to hear. All jokes aside, all laughs aside, it is disheartening to hear that you got that advice. And like I said, if somebody wants to fact check J&J and I and get in the Discord or get in the Facebook group and tell us that we're just, Roth IRA fanboys and we really shouldn't be, I'd gladly have that conversation. I almost wish we had Matt. I wish we can go back and forth and ask him some of these questions. Like, what the hell did you do? Did you just like shake his hand and get the hell out of there? All right, guys. So the episode is not over yet. When this episode was over, I called my CPA. It's 10 o'clock at night. I texted him and said, Matt, I need you on the phone right now. And first off, this is the relationship that you really should have with your CPA. He's not a friend of mine. We don't go to the bar and go drinking. Like, it's not that type of relationship, but he is 100% dedicated to us being educated and things like that. So I called him and I asked him 2 questions. So I'm actually going to play a little bit of his audio. I got his permission. He said I could quote him. And I asked him a question about both the things that Matt asked me. He asked, what is up with this fee per brokerage account? And Matt gave his honest answer about that. And once again, I'm saying Matt's back and forth. My accountant's Matt as well. But I also asked him about the Roth IRA because frankly, I wanted to know if there was something that JJ and I have missed. And you'll hear him say he's heard clients that were completely against it. But I'll let you hear what he's saying from somebody that does not have Series 7, does not give financial advice. This is all off the record. I'm just going to quote you a couple sound bites. I tried to record it. Hopefully the audio is good, but listen, this is from my CPA. Take a listen to what Matt has and then enjoy the rest of your day, guys.
$100 is crazy, to be honest with you, but that is an old school practice.
So you're saying that all right, so it's not absolutely unheard of, but it's just kind of a...
My father would never do it, and he's like 60. So it's like predating my father. So it's like people who are like 85, like accounting firms, like their owners are still alive, and they're like 85 years old. Those are the firms that are doing it.
It's just like a dick move, right? That's what I said. Like, you said exactly what I thought.
You're going to force those people to just go to do TurboTax or something because they're going to say, why am I paying you? What value are you giving me?
Yeah. That's why I wanted to ask you. Cause I know that that's not something I knew you did for me. And I was like, well, I didn't know if, Matt's taking care of Brad or I just didn't see, I'm sure what I said on the podcast was, yeah, it's probably a little bit more of a pain in the ass for the CPA, but it's not worth pushing you away if somebody else is going to do it for...
Exactly, and you also need to understand the rules of the IRS. The IRS does not require you to write down if you had 6,000 trades because you traded options, right? You have a million different calls, a million puts. I've seen 150 pages, right? All we care about is the summary page, and we say see attached per Morgan Stanley, see attached per TD Ameritrade. That's an old school thing to list out every single call or every single time you sold something or traded. There's day traders out there we have, and I literally see, Brad, this year over $1 billion in trades because that's what it comes out to. Why the hell would I sit there and type that out? Maybe that's why he's charging him, because he likes to do data entry, but you don't need to do that. The IRS's rules have changed when everything went computerized, like maybe 20 years ago. You just attach the statement, if anything. Maybe I'm just trying to really dig deep.
Yeah, like I couldn't think of it. And like I said, all right, so here's the next.
You're right.
All right, here's the next thing that this guy said. And you probably, I don't know how much you've listened to the podcast or my YouTube channel, but you know what a fanboy I am for the Roth IRA.
Yeah.
His CPA told him that he was essentially a donkey for investing in his Roth IRA because it has no tax benefits, on top of the fact that this guy already was doing very well in his 401k contributions and had brokerage account as well. Is there any instance, because this is what JJ, and this, I really wanted your expertise, is there any reason legitimately like that I'm missing the ball here that I should ever, under any circumstances, steer someone away from the Roth IRA if they meet the income limit or they're doing it back to a Roth? Is there a position where you would advise somebody against it?
No, I would never.
Yeah,
honestly, I don't have my Series 6 or 7, so I would never give financial advice that far.
Right.
Second off.
But just like off the record, like
it's just such a small amount of money, Brad. Just do it. That's what I would tell people. I'm like, you don't have. Okay, if you're putting anyone that tells me they're investing, they're doing like 10 grand a year. Let's say, I say you got to break it up. Do at least a G into the Roth at minimum. You got to split it up a little bit.
That's what I mentioned on the podcast. I said if it had a crazy limit, and that was their only basket, maybe you would.
Right.
Oh, dude, thank you so much. Like I said, I more wanted to make sure that like this CPA was giving this advice, which another thing too. Like you mentioned that you don't have your Series 7, you can't give financial advice.
Shouldn't be.
Maybe this guy is not a fiduciary and was trying to I was trying to figure out what this guy's motive was to advise somebody against a Roth IRA. I can see clients, and I have talked to people too that are against it for liquidity reasons that you mentioned, but from somebody that sees money coming in and out every day, I just wanted to hear your professional, off the record opinion of the Roth IRA.
It makes sense for these guys or girls to do it, just to hop in a Roth, do a few grand. If they want to do something, it's easy.
Yeah.
It's, it makes so much sense.
Thank you. Like I said, I more wanted to make sure that I'm not giving, quote, bad, or that I'm not doing a bad thing for myself and my family. And I was just curious curious what the possible motive could have been for this CPA to tell him after looking at his paperwork, like, I can't believe you invest in a Roth IRA.
Even if someone's going to retire early, I mean, I always try to think of all those people that are like making a killing, and I'm like, this doesn't matter. You're going to live until at least 60. So please, then you can enjoy it, and it's just another lump sum that you're like, ooh, nice. I'm kind of glad I had this. If you do $1,000 for the next 20 years, 25 years, I'm like, come on. And it grows a little bit. Come on. It's a no-brainer.
Thank you. Do you mind if I quote you, or would you rather I didn't?
Quote me. Do whatever you want to do.
All right, buddy. The rising tide raises all ships, bud.
Oh, thank you. Thanks. Say hi to Tara and the kids.
We'll do, bud. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks. Okay. Bye-bye.
No, I mean, to be honest, Matt sounds like a good old boy that we could have a nice couple drinks with and tie one on in the bar. I think we'd have a blast is what it sounds like.
I don't think I've ever bumped into an Aussie that I did not have a good time with. And I was very lucky.
True.
And you're lucky too. In the CrossFit space, So when I was in the CrossFit space, I did a lot of volunteer work with an organization that's heavily involved in the CrossFit community, Barbells for Boobs. And through them, I got to meet so many Aussies because CrossFit was really, really big there. They have some amazing champion CrossFitters there. And I've never met an asshole.
No, dude, they're so freaking fun and they're so funny.
I just wish their
so
country
funny.
wasn't like 8 flights and 3 days travel away.
I know. So true, man. Yeah. What an episode, dude. I mean, I told you, though, that voicemail was going to brighten you up a little bit. I mean, Matt killed it, dude.
I'm not going to lie. When we're done recording, I'm going to make you play that again.
I will for sure. Guys, thanks for listening to today's episode. If you guys have a voicemail you want to leave that Brad and I can answer here on a Friday episode, there is a link down below in the show notes. You guys can check that out. Leave your voicemail, leave your question, and Brad and I will answer it. I got a little announcement to make. It's not official yet. I guess it is official, but it's not completed. Brad and I actually we're stepping up our game a little bit. We're becoming official podcasters, and the new and not improved, it's just a new website.
Oh yeah, we're doing it.
AverageMoneyPodcast.com. It's under construction, but you guys can check it out, bookmark it, do whatever you need to do. We're going to have a little like blog posts that go along with the podcast episode. We'll try to put up all the old podcast episodes as well. We'll have some like different links and stuff over there, maybe some like about us stuff. It's going to be good. It's going to help the podcast too, because Brad and I understand we're kind of shooting ourselves in our foot by not having any like kind of trail over on Google to hopefully try and get some more listeners and have this average money community grow of like-minded individuals who are people just trying to win with money. Your everyday average people that are, trying to do above average things with money.
We do want to have a one-stop shop. We want to have a place where you can go, find out where we're going. I'm off all summer. We're going to be traveling around, having a good time, find out what we're doing, anything that we have promotions coming up. We want to put the courses in there. Like, this is definitely fun and games for us. And like at first we were like, we don't need a website. But then we realized that websites and things like that bring value to you guys, the listeners, as well. So, that's really why we want to do it, because it's heavily requested. And, what's next? You guys going to tell us we need a TikTok? I don't know, but...
Oh man. Well, hey, I want to wrap this up with this. I haven't read a review in a while. And if you guys are enjoying the podcast, you like what you're hearing and you want to somehow help us out, one way you can do that is by leaving us a review over on Apple Podcasts. I think right now it's the only place you can leave a review. But I want to read this review from Shiny with the money symbols. It says, "Great podcast. I'm 37 and have the traditional investments, personal home, 401k, and have been wanting to get more financially stable. These guys have had some great advice and are very normal, average guys. They make it sound doable for anyone. I hate listening to people that talk about investing and finances so far over your head that you need to Google every other word. That's not these guys. Thanks for the help." Boom, baby. We're just two average good old boys making content on shit that we are completely passionate about, man. We love this stuff, guys. Like, we love it.
Little does he know, we don't use big words because we're simple-minded people.
I can't even pronounce the damn words. I don't even... You kidding me?
In the last episode I edited, you said sky risers came in on the plane, so all the New York sky risers.
I heard that, dude. Like, and I watch my videos when I'm editing. I'm like, you are a complete idiot. Like, what am I even saying? Dude, I have no idea what my mind thinks when I'm talking sometimes.
We're genuine, though. And we want people to win.
It's who I am, We
don't have to be bright people to want to see people win and want to tell people the things we've learned.
Well, here's another thing. You don't have to be super bright to become successful. Just be a hard worker. That's what I am. I'll work my ass off to become successful. That's all you got to do. You don't got to be smart. You don't have to have all these, fancy degrees and all this stuff. Just put your head down, work, and you'll be successful.
Leave my fancy degrees alone, bro. Should cost a lot of money.
All right, guys. Hey, thanks so much for listening to today's episode. Again, if you guys want to leave us a voicemail, leave us one down below. Until next one, you guys take care.